worldwide, faith-based, community-driven streaming media. This is The Voice 17104.com from the Allison Hill District of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Now broadcasting community radio from Studio A and community television from Studio B on The Voice 17104.com.
You're now tuned into Real Rap on The Voice 17104 with Ron Chapel. It happens every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, you know who this is. It's your girl Niagara. Yeah!
All right, Chris. Good Monday evening, everybody. Hi, this is Ron Chapel. Welcome to Real Rap with Ron Chapel. Yes, the song started off the show, celebration. Tonight is a celebration of sorts because 8 years ago, on July the 6th, we began Real Rap with Ron Chapel. And so I'm pleased to say that through a lot of efforts, not only from myself, but also the engineer, Pastor Chris Thomas, and patience that God gave him, we now are in our 8th year. We're in our 8th year. And so I want to start off by thanking you for viewing the program, or if you're watching the replay, thanks for viewing the program. And if you've been with us through those 8 years, we especially thank you. I want to thank all the guests that have come on the program. I want to thank the sponsors that we've had time to time because they helped us to remain on the program. And I want to thank the guests that have made personal contributions to the program, such as the Honorable Tom Conley, the Honorable David Adam Manson, and Miss Crystal Davis have all contributed to the program. So we thank you very much for your kind support. And I want to thank those of you that on my Facebook page, you send your kind words, kind expressions. I really appreciate that. And it's been quite a journey through the past 8 years. You know, I started the program originally because I wanted the community, especially the inner city Black community, to have a voice on the air about matters that pertain to them, especially, and not only local matters, but also national matters. You know, many times we find that there are other people that choose to take the right to speak for us, to tell the world how we feel. And I felt that we needed a voice ourselves. We needed a platform for free expression, and that's what the Real Rap with Ron Chapel program has been doing throughout the years, and so we do appreciate those of you that have been viewers of the program, and those of you that have been instrumental in helping us to remain on the air. I want to thank Pastor Chris and Pastor Melissa Hall Thomas for having the Voice 17104, which made it possible for me to have my programming here. And I want to thank all those programs that have come after mine, mine being the first secular program of its sort here in the Harrisburg area, promoting the city of Harrisburg and the political and social talent, entertainment talent. And we've had guests that have come on the program that have gone far. We've had comedians on the program. We had one in particular that was contacted by Will Ferrell and also adopted by the Wayans brothers. We have another comedian on the program that's doing big numbers on YouTube. He's massed way over 1 million views, and he has tens of thousands of subscribers. And this was his very first radio program. We have a local entertainer, a local rap artist. They end up touring the United Kingdom, and he's real big in the United Kingdom. He's from right here in Harrisburg, and this program was the first radio program that he was on. This program is also spurring on other programs. We have some programs in the area where their hosts first made their appearance here on Real Rap with Ron Chappell. We have several programs. There's been several guests on this particular program that went on to have their own shows, starting with Miss Shemaya Hawkins. She went on. I brought her on as my co-host for a short spell, and she went on to produce her own program, Teens Speak Out, which is a nationally syndicated program that also has a big audience in New York City. And we have other programs, that all originated from I guess being on this show. So I'm proud to say, no brag, just fact, that we are the first secular broadcast of its kind in Harrisburg, and we take we take a lot of responsibility with that. We try to present the common and the uncommon people of Harrisburg on this program, and that's what we hope to continue to do. Now, we have 3 different programs that some of you know that share this time slot. We have Real Rap with Ron Chappell, when it's just me giving my take on current events. We have the Ron Chappell Show, whereas we have invited guests, which technically this is Real Rap with Ron Chappell, but the Ron Chappell Show, because we do have a guest in the studio, my best friend in the world, Sister Eleanor Harrison, who's a mother of the church at Let the Healing Begin Ministries and God's Knowledge Center International. She was kind enough to come and share the celebration with us. As I made a post to all of the prior guests, if you want to stop by and say a few words about whatever you're involved with, even if you want to advertise something that you're involved with, you're welcome to come by. We'll be here for 1 hour. Okay, for 1 hour. So you know the location, you know the place, you've been here before. And so the door is unlocked. And so just come on in. Okay, now let me start by also introducing the engineer of the program and the owner of the Voice 17104.com internet radio station, Pastor Chris Thomas. How you doing, sir?
Hey, God bless you, Brother Ron Chappell again. I must say, I remember, if you give me a minute or two, just
sure, go right ahead.
I remember receiving a call from you. I was out with family before I even knew who a Ron Chappell was or what a Ron Chappell was all about. I remember I was at Red Lobster. I was out to eat with my mother and my daughter, my wife, and I got a call from you. And I guess you got my number from someone else. You were sharing your big ideas and future plans about hosting your own program and how you try to turn to some other platforms, but they weren't as interested in airing the show for whatever reason. And I was so happy when I got that call, because we're just getting the platform off the ground, and you're one of those pillar programs that help sustain us to the place that we find ourselves in now. And I must say, Ron, you're a very giving man. You've opened up this platform to just about all of Harrisburg. A lot of people that never would have been exposed to our community-based platform have come through these doors and the doors of the other locations that we found ourselves before we find ourselves here at Wesley. So I take my hat off to you, your team, your creativity. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but you run a tight ship, man. And I understand, branding is very important, and you're very serious, about your brand and about how that brand is seen and represented, to the world. abroad. So we take our hats off to you. Again, you're a big part of who we are. You're a big part of making us who we are today. So we thank you, man, from the bottom of our heart. And I appreciate that call at the Red Lobster. I remember writing the number down. I said, man, I can't talk much now because I remember we were in line and they just called us to sit at our table. When you called, and I remember jotting your number down on a piece of paper, put it in my pocket. My wife said, "Who was that?" And I said, "Some guy." He called, said he was interested in doing a 2 hour. At that point, it was a 2 hour program, and we were just so very excited to get that. And I remember we talked pretty much after that. Now 8 years later, we're still here. So hats off to you, man. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your vision to touch the world with our community-driven 717 content. God bless you, man, on this your special day.
Thank you. I accept, and God bless you, Pastor Chris Thomas, you and family. And incidentally, that was Mac Granderson, rose to be Pastor Mac Granderson. He was the pastor of Derry Street United Methodist Church, and he was a former building owner, apartment building owner, where he was my former landlord. And so we became reacquainted, and he was showing me around Derry Street United Methodist Church, and he told me that there was a radio station up on the 3rd level. And so we went up there, and I saw the setup. And before I left, because I had forgot to ask you for your number, I got the number from Pastor. I just called his name. Yeah, I'm having a George Bush moment. Mac,
Okay.
from Pastor Mac Granderson, and so then I made the call, and you were very, very cordial, and so here we are, 8 years, folks, 8 years, and it's been some times. Well, Pastor Chris, since it has been 8 years, and we did a lot of big celebrations in the past. I believe the first year anniversary was the biggest celebration, but we had a number of the local politicals in, and we had some of our sponsors. I remember Eddie Ruth was here from Eddie Ruth's furniture store and also a clothing store. And we had, I believe, the lady that owned Joe Mama's Kitchen, and we had another sponsor in, and we had several members of the community and several former guests. And also I recall Miss Shemaine Daniels, City Council member Shemaine Daniels, who will probably end up being the congressperson for this district. She'll be opposing Representative Scott Perry, who was a part of Donald Trump's crew with the insurrection, who has refused to testify before the January 6th investigating committee. And we'll talk more about that later. But she was also part of that program. And we had, I believe, who was it?
Brandon Flood was there.
Well, Brandon Flood was with us on the program. Let's see, Keontae Hodge was with us on the program. And we had also Apostle Lori Salisbury. She came and she sang. And I believe Sister Kay Brown Agabo came, and she was one of the singers on the program. And we had a marvelous feast. We have a marvelous feast. A low scale. Of course, we had fried chicken. We had barbecue chicken. We had baked beans, and we had two other entrees. Well, baked beans was a side, but 2 other entrees and salad and plenty of soda and juice and champagne, sparkling wine, sparkling juice. And we had a good time. And we even had enough cakes to pass out some coconut cakes to some of the guests, 3-layer coconut cakes to some of the guests. That was the first celebration. And, and so we tried to have, also we gave out t-shirts. We gave out logo t-shirts to the guests that showed up. And, and so we'll fast forward to last year's celebration, which was a little low key, it was a little low key from the first one. 7th year anniversary. We had that one, and let's see, we didn't have much food. I think we might have had some, Pastor Thomas, if you recall. I think we might have had some pizza and some fried chicken, from a restaurant, and let's see, and we had T-shirts, and that was an experience with the T-shirts. A lot of us tout Buy Black. We try to help support other Black businesses, but I supported a business, a print shop last year that it was a complete disaster, and I'm gonna tell it just like it sure enough is, because I'm that guy. This is Real Rap. Here, Pastor Thomas, I went, I ordered all these shirts.
Okay.
And 2 days before the program, when I was supposed to pick up the shirts, the owner told me that they ran out of ink. Can you believe that? That they ran out of ink, I mean, some people, business just don't, fit in their lexicon of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? The man gonna take an order that he can't afford to fulfill. And so what happened, we had some shirts that weren't exactly as they could have been. And they had my name on them, because I'm the one that they gave the shirts out. But anyway, so that was one of those experiences. And also, I had paid entertainment for my guests. I wanted to make sure that the time coming to the celebration was worthwhile. I hired 3 entertainers from the city, and I was paying them each $50, Pastor Thomas.
Yes, sir. I remember that.
For a 5-minute presentation. $50 for a 5-minute presentation. Well, the only one that showed up was Mr. Els. We had a big name, in this area, a big name comedian who had agreed to come, but he was a no-show. You know who he is. I'm not going to call his name. We had a rap artist, model, singer. She was supposed to come, and she was a no-show. And so we thank God that Mr. Els did show up. Derek Ellis, I believe is his name.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Els, so we salute you and we thank you. You did come through, and he did perform 2 songs. And so, that's some of the things that happened over the past 8 years. We've had a lot of good experiences. We met a lot of new people. I got to the point where I used to advertise all the time the guests that would be on the program. And then after doing that, advertising them all week. And then when they didn't show up, I'm the only one that you saw, and no one really cares about the backstory, Pastor Thomas.
Sure.
Only thing they know is that you said it. They didn't say it, I said. And so what I stopped doing, I stopped advertising these guests. I'm a firm believer that when a person makes a business commitment, that they hold through, unless there's a serious problem, I hope they, will hold up to their part of the bargain. We made ourselves available, and we were willing to compensate them and if need be, and still, as I say, I plastered their name all over Facebook, and then there was a no-show, and so all that fell on me, and so I stopped advertising people. There's 1 or 2, who I believe are truly people of their word that I will mention, I will put in print if we have an agreement that they will be here. And one is Brother Tom Connolly. He always comes through, Pastor Thomas.
Yes, sir.
And also the Honorable David Adam Matson. Okay, those two are very, very reliable. And with the Monday Night Chapel segment, let me also say Lori Salisbury, Apostle Lori Salisbury. She's a person of a word. Also, I'm reminded that the Honorable Judge, and I'm getting another George Bush moment here, Sonia McKnight, she was here with us. She was here with us last year's celebration, and she was even kind enough gift us a cake to the out.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yes, a delicious cake to the celebration. And so we just want to say that we remember that, and we appreciate that very, very much, very, very much. I see you have a picture of Wanda Williams, who's now the mayor of Harrisburg. She was on a couple of our programs over the years. I did a segment called The Amazing Ladies of Harrisburg, and she was one of them, along with Linda Thompson. You know, we've had a couple of mayors. We had Linda Thompson, well, now 3 mayors with Wanda Williams, because Eric Pappenfuss, you know, came through. We did a segment with him. We did a segment with Mayor Linda Thompson. We did a segment with Commissioner Thomas Carter. And we've had several Harrisburg City Council members on, such as she's a former member, Destiny Hodges. We had Cornelius Johnson on. Westburn Majors been on a couple of times. Jeff, what was Jeff's last name? What is Jeff's last name?
I don't remember.
He was on city council in a 2-year term segment, and I'm sure his name will come to me, you know, probably before the program is over. So we had some various celebrations, and also one incident that stick out in my mind. I had a comedian, Jeff Sten, sitting in one time. And I really, really feel bad about what happened, because what had happened is that I had, I guess, a book for that particular night weeks ahead of time. And I had a segment, some of you might recall this. The program was being sponsored by the Urban Connection that night. And so I had a segment where the program opened and Jeff was sitting back with an Urban Connection newspaper, you know, in his face, right, Pastor?
Yes,
Pastor
sir.
Thomas. And so what he was supposed to do is have that there for a moment and then take the paper down and welcome everybody to the show. That was a little commercial for the Urban Connection. Well, lo and behold, what happened? We're up on the third floor of the Derry Street United Methodist Church. We had a guest that showed up 5 minutes before 8, 5 minutes before the program started. And you know, and here, Chris Thomas, the only other person in the studio, the engineer, had to go down 3 flights of stairs to help this guest up. The only other, I guess, besides Jeff and his wife. So Chris Thomas had to go down 3 flights of stairs to bring the guests upstairs. That was late, because I asked everybody to try to be between 7 and 7:30, and they agree on that, and I make sure they know the address and so on and so forth. So Jeff sat there with the paper in front of his face for almost 10 minutes, completely destroyed the bit that I wrote for almost 10 minutes, you know, and that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. And needless to say, that guest has not been invited on the program again, and that guest should not look for an invitation. That guest know who that guest is. And I'll leave it at that, because that was very, very bad. That was very, very bad. Like I say, I feel bad for Jeff, you know, because, you know, being a comedian, you know, he probably already had his, you know, spiel or whatever already worked out. And I know timing is so important with comedians, you know, and so that sort of rocked the boat there, you know. We had Minister Lavelle Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. He hosted a program or two. We had him on the program. The late Vera Cornish was very, very kind to the program, and we remember her. And we also remember Brother Reggie Guy, the late Reggie Guy Sr., who honored the program, honored me in the program with the Martin Luther King Leadership, Martin Luther King Drum Major of Justice Award, you know, and we were very, very, very proud and humble and proud to receive that award for the Real Rap with Ron Chapel program. And we also thank the Honorable David Adam Matson for the proclamation that he brought out and read at the last anniversary. And so we had a number of time. Also Stan Lawson. We understand Lawson, former president of the Greater Harrisburg Area NAACP. We honored him on the program. And we also gave a segment. We had a running segment with Greater Harrisburg chapter in NAACP, their own segment once a month, and I'm not going to attempt to try to remember the president's name because I've messed up so many other names. I see you have you're featuring some of the people that's been on the program over the years, Pastor Thomas. And so, all of them contributed to us still being here. And I know there are other programs on now, and some are better, some are better, you may say, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, because we were the instrument, I believe, that initiated all of them programs, and so, aren't you, if you say you try to judge the programs, you say, well, this one is better than yours. Well, I'm fine with that, because I would venture to guess that you probably have a better education than your parents. You probably drive a better car than your parents. And so, people should progress. The talent, the workmanship should progress, and so I'm fine with that. But I know that we were number one. We were the first, and that's no brag. That's just fact. Okay, Chris. So we did some recollection of the past years and the past programming and the celebrations. And so I know, if you say I'm one of the first podcasts here at the station, secular podcast, I believe. And I know you said there was a question whether me or Pastor Gaston, but Pastor Gaston, I believe he has a sort of a secular religious program, but Pastor Gaston, I believe, was first a guest on one of my programs, and then he eventually had his program. But so for the celebrations, Pastor Thomas, I know you're going to surprise me with some sort of a banner or something or whatever. I thank you for the gift you did give at the beginning, before we came on air, with a little reduction in the, you took something off the production bill, which I appreciate. But so you got something that you want to present?
I want to present you me, man. I'm here. I'm in it to win it with you, my brother. Again, my apologies. It kind of slipped my mind about the anniversary.
8 years.
Well, my apologies. I did contribute, to the celebration. So my apologies. I got so much going on. And plus, we're moving on top of that, our home in 10 years and trying to relocate it.
Blame that on me, huh? Just kidding.
But I'm gonna award you me, man. I'm here with you, brother. And I look forward to another 8 years, should Jesus tarry, another fine broadcasting excellence here during Real Rap Ron Chapel, the Ron Chapel Show, and also Monday Night Chapel as well. Again, a listener and viewer favorite as well. It's amazing when we look back, a lot of the people we done forgot, and I'm sure they probably forgot about us as well over the years. When we go back through that, the photo library of all the people that you had, there's still probably another 102 photos I couldn't even get to as well. And again, 50%, if not 75% of those people never would have knew about Voice 17104 if it wasn't for, Ron Chapel and his idea and vision to be a talk show host here in the city of Harrisburg. So again, from my wife, from my daughter, you remember her when she was just a little one. I think we were just getting her probably a year after you got started here on the platform. So we definitely got some history, man. You saw us in our down days, and now we're in our winning season, for lack of a better word. So you see the best of us. You see the worst of us when we just had a fan, when we were just broadcasting, to a couple people throughout the city, to what we've grown to now. So big thanks to you. Big shout out to Eleanor Harrison, who's been a big supporter of your show, but also to the station as well. So again, whatever, we can do in the future, to help keep the show going, know that we're here for you, bro.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Thanks for saying that. Sorry it took you so long to say it. But anyway, you know, I'm that guy. And so, you know, and so talk about a comedian and the timing. Well, anyway, so much for that. But I came prepared. You know, so that's what it was leading up to. You see? You know, I didn't know you was gonna make a speech because I was just jabbing at you right there. But anyway, so sometimes you gotta be like Gable and toot your own horn. And so I brought a cake. Brother. So you know, when I get this ready, how about playing some of the drops from over the years.
This is Kiana Palmer, and you are listening to The Real Rap with Ron Chappell on The Voice at 17104.com, Mondays 8 till 10.
Yeah, what's going on, man? It's your boy Q Life, Man Up Entertainment. We here with The Real Rap with Ron Chappell, right here on The Voice, 17104.com. Let's go.
Hi, this is Rajette Harris, Chair of the Dauphin County Democratic Committee. You are now listening to Real Rap with Ron Chappell here on The Voice, every Monday night, 8 to 10 p.m.
He said Monday, 8 to 10 p.m.
Eastern,
Oh, Lord.
17104.com. Real Rap with Ron Chappell.
Real rap. We can rap.
Yeah, we all go through ups and downs. Yeah, we all go through heartbreaks and setbacks. Yeah, we all go through. You ain't going through it alone, cause I'm going through it too. The everyday struggle, yeah, we all go through.
Excuse me.
Getting knocked down,
Yeah,
yeah,
later.
we all go through. The pain of a loss, yeah, we all go through. You just keep your head up and know that God ain't through.
Yeah, this is your man Jay Bear, and you're now listening to Real Rap with Ron Chappell on The Voice, 17104.com. Every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Tune in.
Ow! Ow! Blast that! I'm back!
Okay, Eleanor, come on here for a minute, please.
I'm back! I'm back! I'm back!
Okay, so I came prepared. Here we have a cake here, okay, and got the number 8. I want to ask best friend Eleanor to hold this cake for a minute while we blow the candle. And y'all know they got COVID out there, so we're not going to blow on the cake. You know, I don't think I would have a slice of cake that someone blew on either, you know, especially nowadays. And so let me make a wish. Okay. There we go. We extinguish the fire. All right. So we're gonna have some cake, y'all. And so, Chris,
Yes, sir.
I need 3 saucers and 3 forks. I got a fork here in the bag. We have a little bit of bubbly too.
You need 3 glasses.
Yeah, I got 3 glasses here.
Oh. Oh.
I got the glasses, Chris. Okay.
We didn't totally forget about you, bro.
Oh, hey, man, how about that? Look at that.
A black box.
Look at that. Check it out. See what's in it.
Yes, sir.
Let me,
Let's watch that
Take a
knife.
look.
Want me to hold that for you?
no, you too close to my neck. Okay. Let's see.
You got him.
Take your time, brother.
Oh, a bill. Hold it tonight, please. Boy, you never know. You never know.
You light up our life around here at the Voice 17104, brother.
Oh, really?
What do you give a man that has everything?
I'll tell you something. I received this. Okay.
You light up our lives around here at the Voice.
All right,
brother.
all right. I got my own scented candle in a decorative container. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris
Let me see.
and Melissa, and also baby Melina. Okay, let me here hold this while I go and wash this knife up. I brought some elastic gloves to put on, but they tore. But I did use hand sanitizer.
Nice.
Yeah, do me a favor, would you wash this? Wash it right in the kitchen there. Meanwhile, I'm going to open this bubbly here. No, that way. Oh yeah, there's a kitchen back here too. I'm sorry. The sink. All right. Hey, Chris, this on camera?
Yes, sir.
No, I don't see it. I'll see it in the monitor. Okay. Let me look at the year. Oh, 2015. Good year, good year, good year. Good year. Good year. Okay, yeah. This year we started program. Chris, now you have strong teeth, you know. I had that root canal
that's not me no more, brother.
operation that didn't come out as well as it should have, could have came out. And so anyway, we're gonna have a little bit of bubbly here. First, let me cut the cake. As soon as Eleanor comes back. Some more hand sanitizer, y'all. Thanks, Eleanor. I didn't want to get up past Thomas because I don't want them to see I wasn't wearing any pants.
You got your pajamas on.
No, really, I'm wearing some short pants. I'm wearing some shorts, y'all. And so that's why I was kind of hesitant about.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Okay, so here, everybody. Okay, this on camera, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're here. Y'all come and have some cake, please. Take the 8 out of here. Hey, come on over, Chris. Okay. Here, ladies first. We're here, Eleanor. Yeah, so you gotta celebrate yourself sometime, folks. You know, you work, you spend all your money paying bills. Here, let me see your fork. Yeah, come on. Hey, come on this side here. But I don't want to touch your cake. All right. Yep, celebrate yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. You got your salsa, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me sit him on. Right here.
Yeah. I'll let you touch that because I don't want to put my hands on your food.
All right.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you, brother. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, and now a little bubbly here. We'll need a can opener. I guess I'm gonna have to get up anyway.
A
Do you? All right. Yeah, so we might as well have a toast. Oh, shucks. Rushing out. Okay. Where's my glass at? Wait here, let me pour yours. Chris, come on over, man. Come back over. Let's see. We're gonna quick glasses here in a minute. Okay, give me my glass, please. Okay, let me cover this cake up first. Y'all know I'm a germaphobe. Proud of it too. All right, let me get this. Let me cover this up. This is all that's left for me.
Yes, sir.
All right, so yes, sir, the Voice 17104. Real Rap with Ron Chapel Show, Monday Night Chapel. I thank y'all for being very, very helpful, and the words escaping me now, but you're very, very instrumental in us being on the air, and I thank you for all your efforts and dealing with me. I gotta thank you for your patience. All right. Congratulations, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Pretty good. Now, Chris, you remember the stuff you were saying about 80 years ago? Oh, wow. Thank God ain't no more days like that.
No,
Thank you,
sir.
Lord. Thank you, Lord. Okay, folks. Yeah, 8 years anniversary, 8 years. Well, I left out mine. I don't have a salsa. That's all right. Hey, y'all get another piece because I'm gonna eat from there. It's a small cake anyway. All right.
You just need a fork.
Yeah, I got a fork in here. I got one from the kitchen on the way in. You never know. You never know somebody thinking about you. Thank you, Pastor Thomas. Thank you, Melissa Thomas. Thank you, Melina Thomas. For that candle. All right. Okay, folks. So if you want to call in about anything, want to advertise your project, whatever you're involved with, you want the public to know about it, just give us a call, 717-889-7181. That's 717-889-7181. If you want to call up and say it's a terrible program that you don't watch it anyway, you just stumble by it, well, don't call. No, but anyway, we you know, if you want to advertise something, give us a call, okay? Give us a call, you know. And you know, again, I just want to thank all the contributors to the program over the years. I want to thank guests that I invited to the program that came here and then made contributions to the station, forgetting who invited them here in the first place, but that's okay. That's okay. It's your Chris laughing. It's your no, okay, but anyway, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. But like anyway, so thank y'all. I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. You know, it's been some good times. It's been some fun times, and it's been some not so good times, especially when people say that they're going to be here and they don't show up. You know, and so I have to take the blame for that because I'm the one that trusted them to be a person of their word.
Get your full family.
Yeah. I will in a minute. I want to make sure. I'm see if y'all want another slice before I eat from that.
I want
Oh, you ever know anything you want to say about the program? Since you are here joining me to celebrate. Here, Here's
I
the mic
enjoyed
right
the
here.
program. I used to be excited about it, but
Here, say it in the mic, huh?
I enjoyed the program. Thank God for it. And I used to be really excited about it. And I remember when I first met you, the first thing you told me was you had a show.
Marketing. Yeah, marketing.
And that was
I thought you might have had a business you wanted to sponsor. Go right ahead.
we're here celebrating your anniversary.
Yeah.
So what am I talking about my business for?
Yeah. No. That was, tell her that was a joke, Pastor Thomas. Come on now.
When he first met you.
Because you're kicking at my ego now. That's what you're doing. I'm trying to tone it down, okay? Go right ahead.
The first thing you told me about was this show.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so exciting.
Yeah.
But it's been 7 years now, and it's still exciting like that.
Oh, that's good. All right. Okay, well. Okay, thank you for your kind endorsement.
Some people you forgot.
Like who?
Milan Chase.
Yeah, Milan Chase, we thank you very much. You know, he came through. You know, he's a rap artist, Harrisburg's own Milan Chase. And we thank him for coming on the program several times. We also thank Peso Best Ever. And you can find them on what is it, iTunes, iCloud, Pastor Thomas?
Yes, iCloud. Well, actually, both are music platforms.
Yes, okay. You find them on iTunes and iCloud. And we want to thank Tank, his manager, who also has a program. We want to thank him for allowing us artists to be on the program here. And we're looking to feature also L-Doc. We hope to have him on the program. You know, he's a rap artist out of what is it, Elizabethtown? E-Town, Harrisburg. And if you are a local rap artist looking for some exposure, if you can present some music that don't have any profanity in it or that's not glorifying drugs or violence, just drop us a line and let us know you're interested in being on the program, and we'll have you on and feature some of your music. And let me beg the pardon of the Kai Band out of Detroit. I know y'all did send me some music, but we didn't get around to playing it yet. But if God give, next program, we'll be playing some of your music. And so I just want to thank everybody that's been a part of the program. Oh yeah, also I want to also include Pastor Roberta Brown. She did sponsor a program over the years, and so I want to thank her, along with Crystal Davis and Dave Matson and Tom Connolly, you know, for their kind contributions to the programming here. And you know, as I say, sometimes it's not the best of programming. You're dealing with the one-man operation here. You know, a lot of these other talk shows, they have production teams, and they have people that write out. Matter of fact, they write out the whole program, and they will invite the guests, and they will negotiate with the guests, and all of that was just done by me and my big head here at this end. You know, occasionally I would ask Pastor Chris Thomas for suggestions on guests, but you know, and so we've been trying to present a product worth your time, you know, and so you let us know if we have succeeded in that, and we will continue to support and try to promote the positive things about Harrisburg, PA. And mind you, again, we're not from here. You know, I'm sort of transplanted here from the Motor City. and which I met other people that came in from the motors from different parts of the country that now make their residence here in Harrisburg, and so it's been a worthwhile experience and quite a learning curve. It's a lot different than where I came from in Detroit. I spoke a lot of times about the social climate here, and I still say that in a lot of respects, it tends to be about 20, 25 years behind the times. And, when you compare it with some other places, and you got to be an out of towner to really get the drift of what I'm saying, because, people live here have been conditioned to accept it a certain kind of way, so they never truly understand. You got to talk to somebody that's not from here, and they will explain to you what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say here. But all in all, it's been a good experience. It's been a good experience. I've met some fascinating people. And so I hope that you will continue to overlook my flaws. My flaws, we all have them. And as long as we know that we have them, then we know that we're still a work in progress. It's still one of God's works in progress. And so, so it's been real. It's been real, y'all. It's been real. And it's amazing how time has gone by. Time has gone by so fast, Pastor Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Because it feels like if this is supposed to be what 8 years feel like, it feels like it's only been about 3 to me, because it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. And it's also living a dream of mine in a way as a child. I used to, way back when we just had the AM and FM radio, Pastor Thomas.
Yes, sir.
I used to lock myself in the bathroom, and I would look in the mirror, and I would imagine that I was a DJ. You know what I'm saying, Pastor Thomas?
Yes, sir.
And I would call off all these records, and it's sort of like a jazzy type DJ, not jazz music, but a very talkative DJ, and that's one of the things, when you say, when you're a kid, what you're going to do or what you want to do, a DJ was one of the other ones. Yeah, a DJ was one. And believe it or not, psychiatrist was also one too, that was one at elementary school, and I got really off track with that one, although I did study a lot of sociology, and a lot of psychology, and also, well, anyway, but anyway, it's been a good experience. It's been a good experience, being here at the Voice and knowing that people are the same everywhere, and I think everybody, have some basic wants, they want to feel respected, they want to feel appreciated, and they want to feel worthwhile. They want to feel like they are contributing to the world, and that they are trying to help others, it just falls down. I guess it all comes down to the same one word. Everybody wants to be appreciated, Pastor Thomas.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Everybody wants to be appreciated. They don't want their kindness being taken for weakness or stupidity. People know when you lie to them, and people know how
Hallelujah.
so people know that. And so anyway, those are some of the things that I just want to express. And I wanted to just do really. I want to do about 15 minutes of this celebration, but this time I want to talk about that for about 15 minutes, but it's just about consume the whole hours, because there are other issues I wanted to discuss, the issues I want to discuss. Like, how many of y'all have been watching these January 6th investigating committee hearings? And how many really appreciate the significance of these hearings and the ramifications of what's being said, what's been said in the testimony by the subpoenaed witnesses? And how many of you are aware that our own congressman in this district, Scott Perry, who has since retired from the military, he was a brigadier general, in the military, besides being a congressman. And I remember looking up his staff, and they're all ex-military. It's like they're getting a big military pension, which they earn, but also get paid a big salary from the government. Well, Scott Perry was one of the ones that wanted to help put a crooked attorney general in office that would try to invalidate the presidential election, where he's been subpoenaed to appear before the January 6th committee to testify, and he has refused to testify. He is ignoring the subpoena, and he even went as far as going to President Trump before Trump was officially out of office on January 20th, and to try to seek a pardon, because he know that some of the things he was doing were not only unethical, but also possibly criminal. And so, here he's running for re-election in November. And so, these are some important things that I wanted to talk about with some of you to get your take on it if you're interested in those hearings. And also locally, I understand they had a big entertainment presentation at Reservoir Park this past Sunday. Pastor Thomas, are you aware of that?
I was aware of it. I did not attend. My wife and my mother actually attended, but I did not.
Okay, what were the reviews from them?
They actually just went for the fireworks portion of it, so they didn't go for the concert. My mom doesn't do a lot of walking,
Right.
So they had the park kind of close, and so my mom could get in and out. So they just went to the fireworks portion. He said it was very widely attended.
Yes.
I don't think there was as much drama going on up there as down at the riverfront.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they were very happy about that.
Right. Well, I do a little part-time job daily, a couple hours, and that was a talk from a lot of the grown folks there. They were talking about the event, which I missed, because, I worked 12 hours on Saturday, in New Jersey, and then come back and shower at church, and then rest most of the day, till late afternoon. But anyway, they were talking about how good the event was, and they decried that no local news station covered the event, Pastor Thomas.
Okay.
There was no problems, there were no arguments, there was nothing bad that happened there. There's nothing bad that happened, but the the local news stations completely ignored the event, Pastor Thomas.
Okay.
Whereas they spoke about the news stations are eager to present, events like that over in Carlisle or in Perry County, or some other place, where the so-called minority population is very low, but like when something's going on good in Harrisburg, where people are just having a good time and people are cordial and interacting like that, I don't know why the news stations are hesitant to put a spotlight on the positive things that happen in the city. And so that's what a lot of the talk was. Well, anyway, next week, we hope to be back next Monday night. And we hope to have some guests in the studio. We intend on producing the Ron Chapel Show, which I said will be, we'll have guests. And also, I'm looking forward to doing another Monday Night Chapel. And in particular, I saw a news clip. was playing a lot of Geno Jennings, Pastor Geno Jennings videos. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a very outspoken pastor out of Philadelphia. Some of his views you may disagree with, but he's a controversial pastor. And I saw that this group, the Hebrew Israelites, are you familiar with them, Pastor Thomas?
Yes, sir, yeah.
They surrounded his church and they were calling him out to confront him about some of the things that he had said. And so for the next Monday Night Chapel program, and we could do one at any time, there's no particular schedule date for it. And so I'm putting this out there, is that I would like to have a Hebrew Israelite on the program to tell us about their way of life and their thinking, the Hebrew Israelites. I have some questions for them. So if you know of any of them, if you know them, if you are one, please contact me. Please inbox me on the Real Rap with Ron Chapel page or the Voice 17104 page. And we would like to have you on. We'd like to have you on because I have some questions for you, and I'm sure that the other viewers out there, the viewers may have questions for you also. And it won't be in any kind of debate. We're not going to entertain the enemy. We're not going to entertain Satan by debating about various religions. I heard Pastor Thomas, right before we close, I want to say, I heard Minister Louis Farrakhan say this. One time when I saw him, he said, the Christians are down here saying that the Jews are wrong because the Jews do this, the Jews don't do that. The Jews are saying that the Buddhists are wrong because the Buddhists do this, they don't do that, and so on and so forth. And God is up above looking down saying, look at all my confused children, look at all my confused children. And so we're not going to have any religious debates on the program. Well, okay, we're about to close out the program. Do you have a parting word, Eleanor?
No.
Okay, do you have a parting word, Pastor Thomas?
Again, Ron, you've been such an inspiration to so many. Again, thank you for 8 years of support of this community-based platform. Again, you're a part of our history. You're a part of our present, and our Lord willing, and Jesus tarry, you'll continue to be a part of our future as well. So congratulations to you, and may God continue to bless everything you set your hand to do in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you,
Amen.
Pastor Thomas, and to you and the family also. And hello, Pastor Melissa Thomas, and thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you, Brother Bill Holland. And if I don't call your name up here, please forgive me. Blame it on my head, not my heart. But I see two names here where they made comments, and so I'm pretty sure when I watch the replay there may be others, and then I'm gonna feel bad about that. But but anyway, for not recognizing them. But anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching the replay video. And thanks again to all the guests and all the contributors that have helped us reach this 8-year point. All right, thanks everybody. Peace and love, and good night.